Alright guys, hello and welcome to my second part of my Maya Basics tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to be teaching you guys about the interface of Maya, just a basic rundown of that, because again this is a basic tutorial series for people that are new to Maya. So if you're good at Maya, change the channel. I'm going to start off with viewports. Now viewports are basically the place where you see what you've been working on or what you've made. So if I were to create a cube right here in the middle, you would see that cube in 3D by default, because by default you will see the perspective viewport. Now if you were to press space, space will give you a perspective, side, top, and front. Hold on. Perspective, top, front, and side view of the object that you're working on. Hold on. Okay. We'll give you perspective, top, front, and side view of the object you're working on. Remember, this is all the same object. It's just giving you a different view of the same object. So, if I were to go over here, by default, these buttons will always do the same thing no matter what you do. So if I were to click on the top one, you'll see a perspective view of your object. If you click on this second one, you'll get the basic perspective, top, front, and side. And then you have four other ones here that I'm not going to go through because these are a little bit more advanced. What I am going to go through are these arrows at the bottom here. With these arrows, you can change each viewport into different viewports specifically. So you get the idea of what these arrows can do. So you just click on them and then select the view that you want to that space to be in. So the next thing I'm going to show you is up here, the viewport menu. I'm only going to go through these 8 buttons though. The first button, if you click this first button, it will bring the viewport into a wireframe. If you click this button, it will bring the viewport into a solid. If you click this button, you will get solid with wireframe, so it'll show you the solid and the wireframe even if it's unselected. If you click this, it'll show you your texture. So if you add a texture to an object and you want to see it, you have to click this. Otherwise, you won't see the texture. So if you're wondering why why the texture isn't showing up, it's probably because this is not on. It will always show up when you render the scene though, even if this is not on. If you select this, you can see your lights. Right now it's all black because I do not have any lights right now. Turn that up. If you select this, you can see the shadows. I don't have any shadows right now, so you're not seeing anything. And if you select this, it'll send it into high quality, which basically it makes it more like it will look like when you render it. Remember, each of these 4 things will slow down your computer depending on how many you turn on. So I usually keep them all off unless I need them. The last thing I want to show you from up here is the isolate selected. So let's say I were to make a bunch of other cubes. But now all of a sudden I want to just focus on this one cube again. I can hit isolate selected up here and turn that on, and the selected object will become isolated, so you won't see anything else but that object, so you can just focus on that object. However, if you want to see its little cube friends again, you can unisolate it and you'll see its other cubes again. Or if you want to focus on 2 objects, you can select 2 different objects and then click that and boom. You can click, shift select, and boom. So you get the idea of that. Let's delete these other cubes now. If you go over here, I already showed you the select, move, rotate, and scale buttons. I also want to show you down here. This will give you the last tool that you just used, and since the last tool I used was the create cube tool, if I select this again, I can create another cube. Just always come back here. Or you can just go up here again if you want. Now, if you go up here, Maya has given us the awesome way to specify what it is we're working on, and then give us the tools that we need for that job. So say we're working on modeling right now. we go to the polygons tab and go to polygons here, and it'll change the menu setup here and change these commonly used tools. So these tools are the tools that are mostly commonly used when you're creating polygons. So these are the primitives, and then you have some basic tools. And then up here you got your mesh, edit mesh, all these different things for modeling. However, if I were rendering now, so that would be like lighting and textures, you go to rendering here, it'll give you a different menu set up here. If you click rendering here, it'll give you a different set of commonly used rendering tools. So you got your lights, your cameras, your materials, all that fun stuff. I'll get more into rendering later. For now, you're going to want to keep them both in polygons. If you move down here, you have your animation place. All of this stuff is going to be used for animation. You have your different keyframes and your play and stop the animation things. I'm not going to get into that because this is not an animation tutorial. It's just the interface. I'm going to have a separate tutorial series just on animation, so stay tuned for that. If you click on the object and then go over here, you have your attribute editor, and you can change the different attributes of that object. You'll get different tabs here as you continue to modify your object. So always keep in mind that this is over here. If you want to change a quick way, if you want to change your color, I'm not going to get too much into rendering right now because this is a very basic tutorial, but say you want to change your color of your object for whatever, because you don't like gray because that's the default, you can change it here. Just change it to blue or green, or you can edit the transparency of the object, so now it's kind of transparent. That's always fun. So you get the idea of that. I will get deeper into rendering in a different tutorial series because this is just the basics. That's all I have to say about the interface of Maya. I'm not completely sure what the next basic tutorial will be in this series, but stay tuned for that. I'll try to get it out sooner than this one. Sorry it took me so long. I've tried to do this a couple months ago, but every time I tried to do it, something went wrong with the video, and I kind of rage quit after that. But I tried again. Hopefully this one recorded. Rate, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. Stay tuned for the next tutorial. I'll try and get it out soon.